welcome to the Trading Bell. Now we have sat right here at the office of Tombulwa. He's the Group Managing Director of Enlighten Group, to just not only understand about their product diversification, but also talk about Lindsay Sukuk, which was the recent bell ringing ceremony at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Tombulwa, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Beautiful office you have here, and thank you so much for having us.
I wish you could spend some more time here, but unfortunately I never find the time to stay in the office. I'm out there in the bush with my clients.
With your clients?
Yeah, but thank you.
Anyway, we have to go to the clients, definitely. And for the sake of our viewers, maybe before we define Enlighten Group and what they do, let's talk about that latest move we saw, because you were there and you addressed the gathering, the business people, investors, the president and everybody else, and you rang the bell with the president there, Lindsay Sukuk. Could you enlighten us? What exactly just easily happened on that day?
Oh, great, and thank you for having me. Lindsay Sukuk was our Enlighten Group response to supporting the infrastructure gap which we face in Kenya and Africa at large. So we went out there with a call to support the institutional housing projects by government. Our initial thinking that was we could do a conventional bond. But with the current interest rates looking upwards, 16 to almost going to 17%, we were not able to structure any conventional bond which would give a return to investors to support the institutional housing program. So we had to look more innovative ways to think differently, and we found ourselves looking towards Islamic funding. Now, the good thing with Islamic funding, it's not interest-based. It is dividend-based. And it's ethical-based. So around those principles, you are able to structure a sukuk, which is an Islamic funding model, against which the investors, who are basically Islamic investors, Islamic finance investors, will then receive a dividend out of the returns from our institutional housing program. So that fitted perfectly well. And we're very, very proud of that successful issue. That's all about sukuk in basic language.
For the sake of our viewers, and really appreciating that this is ethical financing courtesy of the Islamic way of doing things, one would be asking me, I'm not Muslim, am I allowed to invest? Maybe that's one of the questions they may ask. And I also wanted to couple it up with, is this also a way of hedging from the volatilities of the interest rates that we're seeing here and there?
Yes, it is actually. First of all, the Islamic funding, just like banking and other Islamic products, are actually open to all of us. I would say is if we need to go out there and actually educate more Kenyans about Islamic funding, it is more stable, it is more ethical, it is more assured, because you actually receive a dividend. So if the program, like any other business, is well structured and all the downsides are covered, you are actually sure to receive a dividend. And most of the time, the return on the dividend, like for our bond, is assured at 11.13%. There are actually very few businesses who would return a bottom line of 11.13%, which is a very decent return. It is open to all of us. You could actually invest in it. It is quoted in the USP, so any of us would invest in that. So yes, it is open to all Kenyans and to the internationals as well. The other question you ask is about the volatility of our conventional funding. Yes, I think for us it's the best way to hedge. Because when we are looking, I mean, if I may just digress a little bit and look at our treasury bonds, for example. Those of us who bought the treasury bonds with a return of 13%, it was really looking very good. But now, with 16-17%, you can't sell. If you try to sell, you're at a loss.
You're at a loss.
But if you had bought an Islamic funding instrument at 13%, possibly you'll still be on your 13%. So, it is a sure return, less exploratory. So I would encourage ourselves to look that way.
Okay. Fair enough, Tom.
Yes.
All right. You're quite bullish. I mean, listening to you and the confidence you have in the market. And one would wonder, Tom is not worried like other people. I don't know. First of all, what's driving this?
We are basically in the long game.
Yeah.
And we've been around for the last 40 years. 40 years is a very long time.
It's quite some time.
And we are looking forward to the next 40 years to do different things.
Yeah.
We started as insurance, risk and insurance business, and we also are involved in pension administration business. These two kind of businesses, from these two kind of businesses, we got our long-looking clients like ourselves, and they are looking for investment horizons beyond the short term.
Yeah.
And so from our capital markets business, we are able to find now value for them in the capital market space by way of going to infrastructure bonds, infrastructure instruments, for example. And that's why we are looking at our bullish idea of funding the infrastructure gap. You know, the opportunity we are looking at is basically the infrastructure gap we have in roads and rails, infrastructure gap we have in housing, water and sanitation. The estimate at the moment per year is about $2 billion US. And we will not basically scratch the surface by just having even 20% or 30% of that kind of funding at the very least.
Absolutely.
So I, like I said during the show, we are missionaries and we are very bullish about our mission.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes.
Do you have some specific, if I may call them that, issuances that you think these ones we shall still push and offer as liaison group?
Yes, our sukuk was actually a pilot. It was, in our thinking, a proof of concept. Behind that, we have lined similar issues in sukuk for institutional housing. But we also want to focus on social bonds for education. Education in this country is key. The government is looking to fund education to the tune of 600 billion. That cannot be done in the exchequer. So as a way of giving back here at Liaison Group, we are thinking about social bond built around the endowment philosophy, where possibly there will not be bigger returns than there would be in conventional or even our latest sukuk, just to try and support the government initiative in education. So we are focusing on education, we are focusing on housing, and we are focusing on green water and energy. So we have a pipeline of issues in all this social development for our country. So we are out. We've cut ourselves a good line of pipeline to think about.
Sure enough, and I want to take a break right now. We'll be right back. We're speaking to Tom Muller himself, quite bullish about what's happening. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.